What's up, guys? My name is Khan and we're back today with more Gearblocks, and today we're checking out something that is super amazing in the pre-release branch on Steam. So recently the dev had talked about an update in which he's adding internal combustion engines into the game that are completely customizable and adjustable, and we can then power our vehicles with the internal combustion engines rather than using electric drives. And I'm super excited because they're finally here in the pre-release version. Now, I'm too stupid to have made one myself already because, believe it or not, you have to build it completely from parts. And if we go and look at the parts, check this out. We've got engine cranks, we've got our starters, we've got our engine head, and I looked through some of the settings. We're gonna do that today. I'm not gonna try and build an engine today because honestly, I think there's a little bit of R&D that has to be done with this. We're gonna go look at the dev's examples of engines, and oh my god, they're actually amazing. And he's got them all hooked into a dyno somehow already. I don't even know how you do that in this game, so we're just gonna kind of jump into it, but it's super cool. Look, we've got a throttle, right? We've got an engine head, okay, so the throttle feeds into the engine head. This is actually like the coolest thing ever. You might not be able to tell because it's got that like little symbol, but there's a little fly valve in there. Like, this is a throttle with a pipe, and the pipe actually opens up into the engine. And look, we've got actual pipes. Like, we're going to have to actually build an engine and pipe it to stuff. Or I don't think that's really integrated yet. Right now, I see all his engines. You can see we've got the throttle here. It's just sort of open to the air. So there's no, like, you know, fuel-air mixture going into this. This is just like a straight opening, which then feeds into the engine head, which has its two valves in it. I think the engine head sort of incorporates the camshaft and stuff like that. Like, that's the idea. If we can actually just take this off. It's so cool, guys. I'm like nerding out right now. This is unbelievable, the amount of parts he's got in this. But yeah, look, if we take the engine head, we can just kind of look under it, and you'll see it's sort of like the cylinder head. Again, that stupid symbol's kind of in the way, but there you go. You can kind of see it from that angle. There are two valves right there. So I think this is where the cam and the followers and all that stuff would be, or it's just like electronically controlled or something. But yeah, we feed in the throttle, and there's a valve, and then we feed out the exhaust. And you can see he's got pipes coming out here for the exhaust, right? Which I just disconnected, and the throttle coming in. Anyway, we're just gonna delete all this and respawn this. But yeah, guys, this is like the coolest update ever. So you can see with the parts he's got, he's setting it up, right? So you'd have to have like a full out system for fuel, for exhaust. I know there's power in the game right now. Look, he's got an alternator for charging your batteries, which is super, super cool. You can turn on power consumption if you're playing the game with your vehicles. I normally don't. Like, all the vehicles I've built, they have battery packs in them, but I've never actually turned on the power consumption. But we can totally do that. And I'm assuming at some point in time, the same thing would be added for fuel. Like I said, this is in the test branch, so none of this is actually like officially released. I just got way too excited when I found out it was in the test branch, and I was like, I have to check this out because like we can build, you know, actual engines now, and you're gonna have to connect them up with belts. You know, we get like, oh, okay, I'm gonna stop. We're gonna go run an engine. Let's go run some stuff because this is ridiculous. Let's just leave those throttles on the ground. Yeah, let's spawn in again. Let's go back to that first engine. I'm also curious how the dev built the dyno. Like, I don't really understand how this dyno works. We're gonna have to check that out. Let's pull out the connection tool. Okay, they can literally get measurements right off the thing. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? What kind of data? No way. You can just output stuff straight from... What? What? Engine throttle 1, butterfly angle, throttle flow rate in grams per second, manifold flow rate. What? He's just got all this. Wow, that's so much easier to set up than I thought it would be. You can just read stuff straight off the cylinder. What other, is there more data I could read? Is ignition cut, is stalled? Oh, that's so cool. That's actually insane that you can do that. And then engine output. This just, what does that read off of? No data. That's just reading off of, what is that? It's just reading off, you can read straight off the crank. Are you serious? Is that what that's actually, are you connected to the crank? No way. All right, sorry, yeah, no, I'm just nerding out. I'm nerding out really hard right now. I literally checked out this update for all of maybe 10 minutes, and I was like, this is pretty cool. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just talk about it in a video because I really want to let people see all the different things we can set up. Anyway, let's run this stupid thing because, you know, it's really cool. So we got the starter here. The starter is actually fantastic. You know, it's got a trigger key of G. But what's cool with the starter is it automatically extends itself and then retracts. And then I guess he's got it going to a clutch and ring gear. Yeah, is that a clutch and ring gear? It is. Okay, why does he need a clutch gear on the starter, though? Oh, I guess so it doesn't grind against the engine. Once the engine starts spinning, that makes sense, because then the gears clutch. If you have the clutch set, like, what's his clutch setting set to? Only 1,000 torque. Yeah, so if the engine torque, I see. Okay, that makes sense. And then you just gotta, is this just a weight? It's just a big cylinder of steel that's very slowly spinning. Oh, because we have a centrifugal clutch here. Oh, that's so neat. All right, so look at this. We can throttle up. Let me see. I don't know if you guys can see the butterfly valve. So if I press F, see that? See the valve opens? Oh, I stalled out the engine. How'd I stall out the engine? That's not good. There we go. This is so cool. Yeah, we're gonna have to make a one-cylinder go-kart. And I don't know if we can make mopeds in this game because I don't know how we can do the balance. But we're definitely gonna. Okay, so it's 3,000 RPM, 73% volume efficiency. Okay. I don't really know thermal efficiency. I don't really know how what that tells me in terms of this game. 73%. I mean, obviously there's fuel rates and stuff too. I mean, if we can. Okay, this is, if he starts adding the fact that you have to think about fuel and air mixture and the amount of fuel and air coming into the cylinder, and that determines your burning rate, and then we add things like turbochargers and superchargers, and you have to have a turbo, like you could have a supercharger that's powered by a belt that provides more air pressure, right? Like powered by an axle. Doesn't have to be a belt, could be geared. But you have to have a supercharger's powered by an axle off your engine's idler, right? So it provides an input, just uses a big freaking, well, it's usually like 2 screws actually is what I've seen, but it's like these screw turbines, they force air through them off the idler belt. And then your turbocharger takes your exhaust gas, and your exhaust gas feeds through one turbine, which then powers a compressor, right, through an axle. So it powers a compressor on the intake air to compress the intake air with the exhaust gases. So the more exhaust gas you have passing through it, the faster the turbine spins, and then of course the more compressed air you get feeding in. Whereas a supercharger spins off the idler belt, so it spins at the same RPM right away. Like the supercharger gives you instant power, whereas the turbocharger kind of has that ramp up into it, which is, you know, sort of like your turbo lag. But this is so cool. Like, there's no exhaust right now. This is where exhaust would be coming out, right? And there's no fuel intake. Now, obviously, like I said, this is test branch, right? So, like, you know, I don't even know what to say. I'm blown away. This is so cool. It's so cool. Okay, this is a single cylinder. All right, we gotta stop. So this is like what? Single cylinder, 23 kilowatts is what I'm seeing at peak power. We are gonna look at all the bigger engines as well. I'm just curious, what causes the rev limiter? Is that the cylinder itself, I think, is an animated thing. So you place the crank and you place the cylinder, and then you see if we pull the connection tool, they're connected to each other, right? So you don't actually build the piston. Like if we look at this, there's no part in here for the piston. It's just the cranks and the cylinders. So you line the cylinders to the cranks, and then you connect them, and I think that's how that works. There's no settings on the cylinder. There are settings on the intake. Max RPM 3000. Okay, so that's where that's capped. It's on the engine head. And firing order. Oh, so this is how you time all your different engines together. Oh, that's cool. Peak volumetric efficiency is 0.9. Maximum volumetric efficiency. Okay, so it's 90%. I don't understand what all this, how this would affect. One is, oh, this is where we're doing our air fuel mix. Okay. See, this would be cool if this was adjustable with a valve or something. I mean, I know this is so early, but like if you could adjust this live, like, because then you could have like a plane engine, right? So if you look at plane engines, they usually have a valve on smaller planes anyway. Larger planes, I'm sure, do it electronically or something. But on smaller planes, like a little small single prop, they've usually got a valve that you can pull to adjust your fuel mix while you're driving, right? While you're flying. And depending on your altitude, you're gonna wanna change your fuel mix because your air gets less dense, right? So it would be cool if we could change this while driving, because that would affect how our car drives. So if I go negative, like if I go 0.5, I'm now running rich, and I can crank that up. So this is gonna be more torque, supposedly. Is that true? but now I'm running really rich. Yeah, see, it's way too rich. Way too rich. I still don't understand what the volume efficiency does, though. Yeah, so you only get 7 kilowatts. 14 kilowatts divided by 1.341 is 10 horsepower, basically. So this single cylinder is a 10 horsepower engine. That's pretty good. All right, so now he's got an i4, which is interesting. This is actually the engine that's in my car. It's same timing too, which is cool. It's the outside inside, so it's like a 1.4 and a 2.3 simultaneously. This one is hooked into an alternator, which is super cool. It's got the belt to the alternator. See, now we need superchargers, right? I just throw a nice supercharger up here, have this belt come up to a supercharger. Supercharger feeds, you know, air into all the air intakes, right? Through an intake manifold. Oh, he's got the exhaust hooked up. That's cool. He's got like the equivalent of like an exhaust output here. This is so cool that there's engines now. This is actually, I really want to just, like, I kind of want to put an i4 on a go-kart. I'm not gonna lie. That would be kind of sick. So how does he do the timing on this one? There's timing 2, timing 4, timing 1, and timing 3. Right, it makes sense. They still go like 1, 3, 2. Wait, is that? Yeah, it'll be, well, one's here. So it'll be 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4. Why do I not like, yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's see. F, no, yeah, look at them. They all open at the same time. That's so cool. Okay, already sounds a little different. Cool. This is gonna be so cool when we hook it up with a transmission too. Oh, it's gonna be so sick. You're gonna be like driving full throttle, and then you shift, and then the engine's gonna bog back down and go brrrr, and you'll shift up again. Oh, it's gonna be so sick. I need to build my own engines. I need to learn. This is great. I'm loving this R&D session because I'm really learning about like the settings and stuff, which I think is important. It seems like they're all 90% volumetric efficiency. I don't really understand why. It just seems to be the magic sauce, I guess. And then 2,000 RPM is peak RPM, which makes sense. I'd probably want that more like 2,500. It depends. I guess, I don't know. We'll leave it at 2,000. And then 1 for the air fuel mix. I don't understand what making it more lean would do to help you, like, in terms of this. Because normally, like, you change your air fuel mix, like I said, for altitude with planes. I don't really know, like, if the air is always the same, I don't know what we would really need it for. Oh, yeah. Look at how much smoother the curve is, though, too. Now that we have 4 cylinders all alternating, I mean, once you get to peak, it's kind of rough. But it's 93 kilowatts, essentially. That is so good. I can't wait to hook this into a transmission and just have it going like, like, oh, it's gonna be so great to run through gear. And now we can build those small, well, we can build small automatic transmissions. Ideally, we want to build a manual, though. We want to have one where, like, you know, you press 1 to shift gears. So now we really need to work on a better transmission. The automatic is okay, but we need a transmission that lets us shift. I mean, right now, the problem is I could make it so, like, 1 toggles the first gear, but then you got to tap 1 and then tap 2 to toggle the next gear, right? Which we could do. It's not a big deal. This game, the next thing it needs after engines, 100% is logic. It needs logic so we can control components. Now that we have engines especially, I want to be able to control my engine components with logic as we drive, you know, adjust things. As you get to higher RPM, adjust your fuel mix. That's so good, though. Okay, 93, so if we take 93 kilowatts and we divide it by 1.34, that was the formula, right? 69 horsepower. That's so good. This is the update. This is the update we all needed. All right. What else you got? You got bigger engines there. Yeah, let's just get rid of this. There are definitely bigger engines. There's an i5. Well, that's interesting. How did he do the? Was he able to do the cranks? Oh, wait, hold on. How did he do that? Because the cranks in this have a little keyed piece, right? So see on the one side, they've got a little square nub, and then on the other side, they've got a square keyed hole. And it is beautiful. It's really kind of intelligently done. So now if I take this and I alt click, you can see like, right? I can extend it and it links on, and then I can rotate it like 90, and I can still, yeah, see now I can still link it at 90, right? But how did he do, if it's a 5, how did he do the timing? What? How are they manually, you can just jam them in. Holy cow, I guess it doesn't actually matter. You can jam them in at any angle. Wow, okay, that's cool. Is that true? Can I just take this and I can just like rotate this? Oh yeah, it flat up just doesn't care. Oh, that's neat. Oh, but see now it's not connected. Okay, I don't know how he did it. He did it with, oh, maybe, you know what? You can turn off park collisions. I bet you turned off park collisions. All right, let's see. What does this i5 do compared to the i4? Let's start it up. I love that. That'll never get old for me. That noise, the startup noise, this is so sick. Is it all? These are all the same settings too. That's crazy. Other than the fire door, this is 1, this is 2, this is just linear, right? Yeah, it's just a linear 5. I don't know how he connected these. He must have ignored park collisions because they do have that little nub, but these are obviously set at weird angles. And then yeah, his throttle is just the same. Idle RPM 500. Okay. And then 50% idle control max. This is so cool. Like, oh man, I just wanna, I need to build like, on the last video I did in Gearblocks, I built a car chassis, a little formula chassis, and it was all right, but the problem it had was it liked to sway a lot, and a lot of people pointed out in the comments I didn't put a sway bar on it. Honestly, like, you know, duh, like real life cars use those for a reason. I don't know how we're gonna do a sway bar in this game, because in real life it relies on the fact that the bar is like a big piece of steel or whatever, and it's gonna, you know, have a spring effect a little bit. I don't know if we can get that same springiness here, but we definitely need some sort of a control bar linkage going across, connecting both front wheels and, you know, and both rear wheels. That would help. But now I just want to build a car with like a better transmission, so we can actually have an engine that shifts through gears. And we got to build ourselves an engine, like flat up. Got to build an engine, and then we got to build the transmission for a car, like a nice manual transmission with a clutch. And then I want to hear the engine go brrr, brrr, you know, and like ramp through gears, good 5 or 6 speed, you know. And we gotta look up, I think what I gotta do is I gotta look up the gear ratios of like a proper 5 or 6 speed and try and get as close to those gear ratios as we can in Gearblocks. Because if you look at a real car engine, the gear spacing, like the spacing between gears is not constant, right? They're not like, it's not like they all have even gaps in numbers. There's different, the ratios get a little different. So I gotta look up what those are and try and mimic that. This thing sounds sick. What's the power output on this? 115? God dang, that's awesome. 116. This is probably like 75 horsepower now. It's so good. So cool. All right. You know, this is great and all, and I know everyone's like, "Con, bring out the big." Don't worry, we're getting to the bigger. This is a ridiculous. I'm gonna build the coolest stuff. Oh my god, these got a. Oh my lord. He's got a V8, a V12, a V6, V10. What, an i6? All right. We gotta get through these. What is this? Okay. We're gonna just go through them quicker here. There we go. Let's start with the i6. Oh, this one's backwards. Okay. It kind of bogs a bit coming out of idle. I'm not gonna lie. There you go, 140. That's so sick. That's so good. Yeah, for sure. This is so cool. You could even like for show, it wouldn't even be functional, but you could link the throttle key to a fake, you know, big fake opening supercharger on the hood or something, you know, like a big opening manifold on the hood. You could hook it up with like a little servo motor part and turn off part collisions, right? So you could have it all like with linkages and stuff that's kind of jammed in there. We could do some really cool like fake aesthetic stuff with that. Anyway, that was that. This is a V10. Oh, interesting. You spawn tilted, I guess because you're a V. That's kind of, nope. Thank you. There we go. All right. This is ridiculous. I don't even know how you built this, but like, let's go. I'm here for it. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Yeah, it comes out of, doesn't come out of idle so great. Maybe that's because it's got to spin this big old wheel up, and it's like the first time. Yeah, because now it comes out okay. It's probably just the first time it spins this wheel up, it's applying too much torque to the shaft, and it's not having a good time. Anyway. Yeah. 233 kilowatts. All right. It's just so cool to build engines, and I love the fact that there's games now that let us actually build, you know, stuff like this. Oh, this is ridiculous. A V12? What? It's like a 60-degree offset V12 too. You might have a hard time. These intakes are cool, but we would need like a manifold that would come up all these. And then, see, this is what you do. You take this V12, right? And then you'd have a supercharger that literally lays itself across here, across the top, right? And feeds all of these and has a big intake. So it sucks in air, goes through a big compressor, and then goes through all them. And then it feeds off a belt that comes up from here up to here and goes right down the middle. That's how you do it. Yeah. Once it's got to get that wheel spinning. Look at that. Now that big wheel spinning. Oh my God. It's so cool. It's literally like a Lambo engine. Let's go. That's so, oh yeah, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right, let's see. Let's do a little throttle rip here. Yeah, it was just a casual 280 kilowatts. 280, I don't even know the math on that. Let me see, 280. So like 208 horsepower. That's sick. All right, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. There's got to be. Let's just do a quick check. So that was a V12. There's a V8. Ooh, I like the blue. Oh. Yeah, that's just sick. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna spawn that one. We're gonna spawn that one. Let's get the V6. That's interesting. Okay, let's get a V10. Yeah, let's just get one of these. All right, V10, perfect. Let's get an i6. Can't have a party without an i6. Get an i5. All right, get a one cylinder. That's just great. And of course, get an i4. I think that's all of them. So now, if we press G, they all start up. Right? We got 1. We got 4. We got 5. We got 6. We got V10, V6, V8. It's kind of cool. You can kind of tell like why you would do things. Like, look at the difference. This is why companies would go with a V6. Is that, look at the size of a V6. Like, look at how much space that takes up. It's almost nothing with like a 60-degree V6. And then look at how much space an i6 would take up. Like, you just need so much more room. And you can do something so much easier. Actually, this brings up a really valid point, which I didn't even check. Which, we'll leave all those idling for a sec. How does he connect? Does he have 2 cranks, like, inside of each other? Or how does this work? Because, like, I understand how you do it in real life, but, like, how do you do this because there's only 1 crank there, right? And 1 crank there, and 1 crank there, that's it? So you just make 3? Is that, and then and then you just connect both of them to the one crank. Oh. And it just animates them both in there, I guess. Okay. Well, that's cool. I guess that works. All right. Yeah, we'll have to play around with that. This is the coolest update I've ever seen. I mean, it's not even out yet. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna be sick. But here we go. Let's just ramp everybody up. I am curious, actually. Hold on. V6, 140 kilowatts. All right. I6. Oh, almost the exact same, 140 kilowatts. Okay. I love the sound difference, though. Listen. I6, V6. That's so cool. I don't know if that's so neat that you can hear that. All right, here's V12. Yeah. I love how the V12 essentially just sounds like two i6s. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. This is awesome. This is the coolest update I've ever seen. And, yeah, I can't wait to actually build some engines and throw them in some cars. There's so much work to do now. Oh my god. I gotta build, like, a good chassis with a proper manual transmission that actually can drive it correctly. And then we gotta put, you know, like steering and stuff on it. Like ideally we should make a front wheel drive chassis if we really want it to be super stable. That would be the ideal way to start. But like a rear wheel drive chassis would obviously be easier. Rear wheel drive chassis with like a mid-engine mount, you know, that's gonna be the easiest setup. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. This is so good. Like, this is unbelievable. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna build some stuff, and it's gonna be great. This is so cool. Hey, why aren't you started up? Hello? Hello? There we go. The one cylinder likes to stall out under load. We're definitely gonna have to build a one cylinder shifter go-kart. It's gonna be way too powerful. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you hit those buttons down below. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time. Oh my god, there's so much. This is awesome. I can't even tell you. I'm gonna nerd out so hard with this.